Good evening, welcome to the channel and welcome to Banter in the Box Season 26 Episode 13. This is the Game Week 8 review. We are currently in the midst of an international break, so there will be no update this week other than to confirm any transfers should they be made this week. No less than 7 transfers made this week by 6 different managers. And I know you're asking yourselves, how can 6 different managers make 7 transfers? You're only allowed 1 transfer per week. Well, more on that later. We've got the normal league table highlights. I'll also be sharing an FFFL Cup update. Last weekend was match day 2 of the FFFL Cup first round group stage. We've got another entrant to the Wall of Shame. And I'll also be reviewing the tactical gambits made for the first time this season. And I'll also be giving a manager of the season update. So here is the bottom of the table. Nicholas and Nelka spent a 4th consecutive week at the bottom of the table, but for the first time in a month they were not the lowest scorers this week, and they're just 1 point away from entering treble figures. But they are well cut adrift from the bottom. Nicola Irving is going to have to get her head in the game if she wants to have any hope of avoiding relegation. Never the Boys and Pez United stayed in the bottom 3 unmoved at the moment, with 3 managers nominated to join next season. The bottom 3 managers face relegation, assuming everyone attends the end of season presentation awards. Dustbin Dynamos dropped a place to make up the relegation zone. 4 will be relegated if we have a 4th manager nominated, and that is the lowest position John Tustin has occupied since the 8th of December 2016. Almost 4 years since John has been that low. Back then he was 26th. He's down to 25th. 23rd place, debut manager AFC Raza dropped a place. That's the lowest position Ray Poulter has ever occupied in the Family Fantasy Football League in this, his debut season. In 21st place, Her Majesty's Secret Cervix, best name in the Family Fantasy Football League. Well, George was the lowest scorer this week, but he stayed in 21st place. And in 17th place, I've Got a Life, Mops Hopsby dropped a place. That's the lowest position Mops has occupied since game week 2. So that's the bottom of the table. Top half of the table, good news for the Appleys United, the biggest climbers this week, up 3 places. That's a season high for James Appley. Not been that high since game week 3. In 12th place, Ostrich Bar Steward Steve Maloney climbed a place. That's a season high for Steve Maloney. He finished 11th last season, but he hasn't been that high this season. Well done, Steve. Up to 8th place, Megan Hoxley Chamberlain climbed another place. That's the highest position Megan has been since the 18th of August 2016. Over 4 years since Megan's been that high. Back then she was 7th, and here she is 8th. Never been that high since the 18th of August 2016. Upper place in 7th, Sash Hammers FC. That's a season high for Wayne. He was also 7th back in game week 4, and he's managed to get back to there. Never been higher than 7th yet, but he's on the up. Things looking good for Wayne. And climbing 2 places into the top 3, Ted and Sam Juniors. That's a season high for Ian Sands. He hasn't been as high as 3rd since game week 3. Hasn't yet broken into the top 2 this season, but he's mighty close now. Just 9 points behind Arden Diamonds in 2nd place. Steve Holmes has occupied that position for the last 6 weeks. But top of the tree, and we are seeing an historical season in the making from Greece Lightning's Alexi Lagos. A 6th weekly win in 8 game weeks. The record number of weekly wins in a season is 8. Alexi is only 2 weekly wins away from equaling that, and we're only at game week 8. Leads the Golden Boot chart as well with a massive 39 goals, way out in front there. Arden Diamonds leading the assists table, by the way, with 24 points. That's a silver boot. And Megan Hoxlade Chamberlain is leading the highest weekly total. £10 for the highest weekly total of the season, £10 for the silver boot, highest number of assists, and £10 for the golden boot, highest number of goals. So that is the league table. But last weekend saw match day 2 of the Family Fantasy Football League Cup. Group 1 saw Legends 23 unsurprisingly dispatch Never the Boys 32-17, and Ted and Sam Juniors unsurprisingly thrashed I've Got a Life 48-16. That was enough to book Ted and Sam Juniors' place in round 2 with a game to spare. They topped Group 1 on maximum points, and in battling for the second qualification spot from Group 1 is Legends 23 and I've Got a Life, who go head to head in match day 3. Never the Boys, everyone is still in with a chance of qualification for the second round, as well as obviously the top 2 from each group going through. The 2 best third place sides go through. Never the Boys has got to pull something special out of the bag in his final game against group leaders Ted and Sam Juniors. Group 2 saw, unsurprisingly, Grease Lightning thrash Gobi Desert Canoe Club 53-22, and Coldplay United beat his mother-in-law No Happy Endings 41-21. Grease Lightning top Group 2, not actually confirmed as group winners. It is still possible that they could, unlikely, but it's still possible that they could miss out on progression. Coldplay United and No Happy Endings both have 3 points in that group, and Gobi Desert Canoe Club languishing at the bottom on no points. Group 3 saw Thames Ironworks FC beat Pez United 31-15, no surprise there, and also Benny United and the Big Knob. Benny United beat the Big Knobs 28-22, no surprise there. It means both with maximum points in Group 3, Thames Ironworks FC and Benny United have already qualified for the second round. They go head to head in match day 3, trying to win the group. Remember, group winners and the best place runner-up are seeded in the second round draw, and the other 6 runners-up, along with the 2 best third place sides, are unseeded. So winning the group gives you a better chance of an easier draw in round 2. Pez United and the Big Knobs go head to head on match day 3, trying to get enough points to get that best third place, one of those 2 best third place positions, but it will mean one of them will need a big win. Group 4, AFC Raza debut managers edged out Dustbin Dynamos 16-14, both sides struggling, the scores showed that, and High Flying Hats United thrashed Napoli 40-18. That means Neil Hatch has already qualified for match day, for round 2. He's got maximum points. Napoli and AFC Raza have 3 points each, and they go head to head in match day 3. Father versus son for the right to be in round 2 of the Family Fantasy Football League Cup. Group 5 saw the Ostrich Bar Stewards, a previous Family Fantasy Football League finalist. They beat the Appleys United 45-34, and Sashhammers FC thrashed Lyndon's Lovelies 43-14. Ostrich Bar Stewards leading Group 5 with maximum points. They have a tough last game though against Sashhammers FC. Sashhammers FC and the Appleys United both have 3 points. Lyndon's Lovelies, who play the Appleys United, bottom of the table. All these teams are fairly grouped together in the league, and they could all still qualify. No one definitely through from that group yet. Group 6 went to form. Poppy's players thrashing Her Majesty's Secret Cervix 43-13, and the Arden Diamonds thrashing Clockhouse Rangers 43-21. No surprise there. It means Arden Diamonds and Poppy's players, the FFFL Cup holders, they've both qualified into round 2. They both have maximum points. They face off against each other in match day 3 for the right to win the group. Clockhouse Rangers and Her Majesty's Secret Service goes head to head, bidding to get one of those two best third place places. But again, to do that, one of them is going to need to get a big win. And in Group 7, Megan Hoxlade Chamberlain edged out the Creed Bratton Society. The Creed Bratton Society, a two-time FFFL winner, but Megan beat them 46-43. And Chairman's Choice, who was stunned in match day 1 when Megan Hoxlade Chamberlain absolutely thrashed him, needed a big win against bottom of the table Nicholas Anelka, but he only just pit them 23-22. All that means Megan Hoxlade Chamberlain have already qualified for round 2 of the Family Fantasy Football League Cup with a game to spare. The Creed Bratton Society and Chairman's Choice both have 3 points, and they go head to head, bidding to get that second qualifying place in the group. Nicholas Anelka need to pull off a miraculously big win against Megan Hoxlade Chamberlain in the final group game to have any hope of progressing. And in terms of the best third place teams, at the moment they are held by the Appleys United and I've Got a Life, currently the two best third place sides in of the 7 groups. So currently those are the two that are booking their place in the second round, despite not finishing in the top 2 places of their respective groups. But it will all change on match day 3, which takes place on the first full Premier League fixture weekend in December. Wall of Shame, we had a new entrant. You will be familiar, those of you that watch this every week have seen the Wall of Shame before. We've had a number of entries this season. Benny United manager Mark Benwell, I've Got a Life manager Mops Hoxby, the Creed Bratton Society's Jordan Williams, and Sashamas FC manager Wayne Robinson appeared on the Wall of Shame early doors for all entering invalid teams. The Appleys United James Appley also on there for entering an invalid team, and then more recently Clockhouse Rangers manager George Moody entered the Wall of Shame for making an invalid transfer. And this week a new entrant, Coldplay United manager Martin Maloney, tried to transfer in a player that already belonged to another manager, and he wasn't spending money on a tactical gambit either, so that was an invalid transfer. 7 managers now on the Wall of Shame. Hopefully we won't get any more. And talking of tactical gambits, those of you that haven't read the rules will have no idea what a tactical gambit is. Read the rules. If you haven't kept the rules, let me know and I'll resend them to you. But those of you that did read the rules will be aware that tactical gambits is a new feature this season, and for £5 million of your transfer budget, if you have £5 million spare in your transfer budget, and if you're in the bottom half of the table you probably do, for £5 million you can do certain things that the rules don't allow you to do. And for the first time this season, 2 managers paid for tactical gambits this week. Yours truly, Chairman's Choice, paid £5 million on the Oi Is Mine tactical gambit, which allowed me to purchase a player that already belonged to another FFFL manager. And Legends 23 assistant manager Keith spent £5 million on a wild card tactical gambit, which allowed him to make multiple transfers in a single week. Normally you can only make 1 transfer in a single week, but Keith spent £5 million of his transfer budget so that he could make 2 transfers this week. Hence there were 7 transfers made by 6 managers. I say Keith Simons is the assistant manager of Legends 23. He's basically the brains behind the operation. I think Nikki Saunders, who's officially the manager of Legends 23, I think she's more like the financial director. It's Keith who's the head coach. So if you don't know what a tactical gambit is, get and read the rules. If you haven't still got a copy of the rules, let me know and I'll email you a copy. There is also a tab on the weekly updates that go out that describe the tactical gambits, or what they are, the different options you've got and how much they cost. They're there for a reason, guys. Utilize them, especially if you're struggling. It can really get you back in the game. Okay, so manager of the season update. This was last week's question. Who the fuck is that? 4 managers had a go at this. The current man leading the manager of the season table, Neil Hatch, thought that was a picture of debut manager AFC Razza's Ray Porter. That was an incorrect answer, Neil. Benny United manager Mark Benwell, Lyndon's Lovely's manager Joe Hoxby, and Megan Hoxley Chamberlain manager Megan Hoxby all thought that was a picture of Dustbin Dynamo's manager John Tustin, and that was the correct answer. So 1 point to Mark, 1 point to Joe, 1 point to Megan, which means the manager of the season table, Megan Hoxby, finally enters the table for the first time this season in joint 13th. Joe Hoxby climbs up to joint 4th on 5 points. Mark Benwell goes clear second on 7 points, but it is still Hatch United leading the way in the battle to be crowned the manager of the season. Remember, the manager of the season at the end of the season gets a free tactical gambit. Mark Benwell still got one of those in his back pocket because he was the manager of the season last season. That is the current table, and your chance to earn points this season is another who the fuck is that question, and it is again a 2-point answer. We did one of these a couple of weeks ago. That is a picture of 2 current Family Fantasy Football League managers. To get the 2 points, you have to tell me both managers in that picture. If you get one right, you don't get a point. You either get no points or you get 2 points for correctly naming both of the Family Fantasy Football League managers pictured there. So that's it for this week. We're in the midst of an international break, as I say, so there'll be no changes to the table. If anyone makes a transfer this week, I'll send out an update on Thursday, just so you know which players are not available anymore. But there will be no Banter in the Box next week. So you've got a 2-week wait to get your fix of Banter in the Box. That's it for this week. Cheers, guys. Take care. See you later. Bye-bye.